mini combination of the crisscross and the W step, and even though they're two individual moves, they're almost always done together, and part of the reason for that is that they share the same perch position. We call this the flat-footed pigeon-toed perch, and there are actually several other flat-footed moves as well, and they're kind of almost always done sort of together because getting in and out of that flat-footed perch position isn't very natural. So in this video, I'm going to cover the crisscross as an individual move, the W step as an individual move, and then tell you how to put them together. We're going to begin with the crisscross, and I'm going to do this from the front because I don't actually think it matters if I do it from the back. So as I said, the perch position for this is both feet flat on the floor, both toes pointed inward. And I'm going to actually add one more element to that, and that's the bending the knees element. So when you start these moves with your knees in, and then dramatically move your knees out, it makes the move look a lot more impressive. So when you're doing these, try to keep your knees bent. Okay, so I'm starting now with my feet about shoulder width apart or so. Toes pointed in, knees pointed in. Now the crisscross is not much different than a jumping jack, but we're going to land with one foot stacked in front of the other, heels in. So that looks like this. So as you can see, my right foot is crossed in front of my left foot. Both my heels are turned in about as dramatically as I can. I also want to bend my knees on this because we're trying to kind of get a little bit of space between your legs. That's a really big characteristic of shapes moves. Then at this point, we're going to go back to the perch position. Same exact thing, toes in, knees together. And we're just going to cross the other foot in front now. Same thing, heels in. Keep your knees bent. Now initially when you're learning this move, you're going to probably be a little bit jumpy and less floaty, and that's actually pretty normal. Get the mechanics of the move down and then start leveling it up by improving your form. But ultimately what you want to get to is you want to get to more of a micro bounce, and to do that micro bounce, you're kind of dragging your toes into the center. Now remember, you're going to be fully unweighted. If you weren't unweighted, you wouldn't be able to get your feet to move. But just unweight it from the heel and let the toes kind of drag inward like that. And then let them drag back outward. And that's really all there is to the crisscross. So you can actually just do these kind of in succession, one after another, until that feels really smooth. Okay, so the W step is really similar. We're going to start in the same perch position. Feet shoulder width apart, my toes are pointed toward each other, my knees are bent. And then on the count, all we're going to do is roll back onto our heels, pointing your toes up and out like this. Okay, two important things to be able to do that. When you roll back like that, you will fall over if you don't counterbalance your weight using your arms and your upper body. So when I'm rolling back like that, I'm using my arms to hold myself forward so that I don't fall backward. Also, at the same time, I'm kind of sticking my butt out a little bit, like this, so that I can counterbalance that move. Now, everybody's built a little bit differently, so you're going to have to find exactly what amount of counterbalance you need in order to do that successfully. And granted, you're not going to actually be going up and holding it for a really long time. It's just one count, so you're just up and back down again. But you'll still want to try to balance that as well as you can so that you don't stumble and fall backward. And another really important point about the W step is you have to be careful not to hop into it. Because if you try to hop into it like this, it just hurts everything from the bottom of your feet all the way up to your head. So make sure that you are just rolling back onto your heels. Okay, and then putting them together is actually very simple since they share the same perch position. You can do one crisscross or two or three like I did in the demo. And then all you're going to do is return to that same perch position and go up into your W step. So for example, I could do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Or you could just do a single crisscross and you can actually cross your arms and pull them back up. That's a very common move. Looks like this. And that adds a little bit of drama to it as well. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.